Organization Choose Lansing held its annual meeting to talk about its success over the past year, bringing visitors to Ingham, Clinton, and Eaton counties. During today's meeting, organizers talked about everything that happened last year in the greater Lansing area that helped generate money for the capital city region. The meeting also allowed organizers to talk about some of the big events that will happen this year to help bring more tourists to the Lansing area. Lansing Mayor Andy Shore was at today's meeting and talked about the importance of Choose Lansing.
Lansing is they're on the front lines. They're out there, they're pitching Lansing. We have all of the amenities and the resources. We're walkable. So I love that we have this organization that really pitches us every day. And they're helping our economy, they're helping to bring people in, they're helping to sell our city.
Some of the events taking place here in the greater Lansing area this year: U.S. Figure Skating's Theater on Ice will take place in April at Munn Ice Arena, and the NCAA Division I and III Cross Country Regional Championship will happen in November.
Gray skies over Rotary Park.